Oh God. Oh my God, my hair. Okay, you know what? That's all I have to do. Hey, what's up you guys, it's me Luke and welcome back to another video, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. So today is part 2 of my review of Shane Dawson's series, The Mind of Jake Paul. If you have not already seen part 1, I will go ahead and link it up here or link it down below. You need to go ahead and watch it before this one because you really need to if you want some context. In that video, I speak about all of the problems surrounding the series and we spill a lot of tea in that one, so you really don't want to miss out on that. We also go ahead and review episodes 1 to 4 in that episode. And today we're going to go ahead and review episode 5 to 8 and spill all of the tea on the rest of the series, and also speak about whether or not Shane Dawson was too easy on Jake Paul. So buckle in, my friends, because ow, I kind of hit my hand. So buckle in, my friends, because today is going to be a bumpy ride. Before we get in, I just want to do a bit of a disclaimer. I washed my hair, and whenever I wash my hair, it gets extremely just poofy. I tried brushing it a million times, and it will not work. And I don't want to wear a hat because like we're trying to keep it professional in here. Also, it is literally 1,000,000 degrees, so I'm going to sweat so fucking much in this video. But I'm doing that for you guys because I want to look professional in this video because I am now professional reviewer. There's nothing even in here. Alrighty, so I'm assuming you've already watched my first review, so we're just gonna carry on from where we ended off on that video. So I mentioned how I really enjoyed the first 4 episodes of the series, which is kind of funny considering they're the episodes that Jake's not even in. Coincidence? I think not. But I was not too fond of the second half of this series. Now, the last episode of the entire series, which is probably the one I'm gonna speak about the most at the end of this video, is honestly my least favorite episode of the entire series, and I'll let you know why. But before that, we gotta start from the bottom. So first up is the world of Jake Paul. Now, this episode to me just felt like an MTV Cribs episode, like a glorified house tour or something. We literally just go and finally meet Jake. We're 4 parts into the series and we still haven't seen him, but you know, whatever. And we go ahead and meet Jake and meet his Team 10 crew, which is like literally consists of like 6 random people that I've never heard of before. And the Justin Roberts guy wasn't even there until the end of the video, which I'm pretty pissed about because like, what a legend.
6 figures I was only for.
And the therapist comes along under the guise as a producer, which is very sneaky. Although I honestly was extremely disappointed with this because I thought that Shane was really gonna go somewhere with this. Like he was really gonna get like a lot of tea and Jake was gonna get really pissed that he did this and there was gonna be a lot more drama, but it was honestly very underwhelming and could have like done a lot more, like maybe some hidden cameras, although that's probably illegal, so... Anyway, I thought it was a really cool episode. It was really fun, but I'm not really sure what its purpose was. Like, I understand, like, you got to see Jake's world and we got to meet Jake and meet Erica.
I'm Erica Costello. I'm Erica Costello.
I think it was just because Shane wanted to go ahead and see what, you know, Jake Paul was like off camera, which I say off camera because he was still on camera. However, I think people need to go ahead and take this with a grain of salt because even I saw a lot of comments on the video and people were like,
you know, wow, he seems like a real person.
Am I suddenly like a Jake Pauler? Like, oh my god, like I stand him.
and I'm like, are we just gonna forget everything that this guy did in the past? Sorry, getting heated. But yeah, like I thought the same thing. I was like, yeah, he seems super chill. Like him and Jerica for the win. I really like them, but I'm also like, we don't know. Like they could be manipulating us. I was taking everything they were doing and saying with a grain of salt. But then we get into the next episode, the secrets of Jake Paul. Now in this episode, we go ahead and I guess learn the secrets of Jake Paul. I don't really know. Like I didn't feel like we learned that much in this episode, but it was still interesting. Shane goes ahead and sits down with Jake and speaks to him about all of the controversies, like the Team 10 pranks being fake, which he finally, you know, admits to some of them being fake, and he speaks about everything that went wrong because of this, like how the Martinez twins accused him of bullying them, which really makes no sense considering the pranks were fake.
They're definitely shitty. And all the Alyssa stuff too, if half of what she said was true, it's like, is a shitty person.
And he also goes ahead and speaks about his relationship with Alyssa and how the relationship wasn't actually real apparently, which, you know, is interesting considering you literally would just call her your girlfriend in like every fucking video with all your clickbait. But you know what? Whatever. I digress. I mean, I don't, but it's YouTube and almost everything is fake.
That's the gag!
I thought it was really strange how the producer was sitting in the room while he was like speaking to Jake. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like Jake would have been as fully open if there was somebody else there. Like, he really should have been alone. Like, 1, he has Shane, 2, he has Andrew, 3, he has the camera, and now 4, he has the producer. Like, I feel like Shane shouldn't have had her there, but whatever, you know. There was one part of the video that was really interesting to me where he speaks about, he used to have this other channel called Jake Paul Too, and he gave it to one of his friends. I think his name was Chance or something, because the other friend he had a channel with stole the channel, but then we found out later on from this person that that's actually not true and that he actually got the channel stolen from him and he stole it back, which once again just proves that we really should be taking everything he's saying with a grain of salt.
Chance spoke out on Instagram calling it the quote biggest lie, stating that Paul is not only lying but that Jake and his dad tried to steal the channel out from under him. Sutton said the night before he left the team, he had added another manager account linked to his personal email, so the shady duo couldn't cut him out of the channel, claiming he later changed the password again and locked every every other manager account connected to the channel out. Chance's facts check out, and he has receipts to prove it.
And I feel like Shane is just very quick to believe everything that Jake says, which is a little problematic in my opinion.
That's my opinion!
Oh my god, I can feel myself sweating bullets over here. And throughout the episode, Shane is constantly talking to Kati, who is the producer slash therapist, about Jake and like, you know, he seems really nice, he seems really real, blah, blah, blah. Which is fine, like I never thought he was a sociopath, but you're seeing what he wants you to see. I don't understand why Shane was so easy to think he's a good person. Like, I just think it's very strange. And even if all of the stuff that he did do was for views, for whatever, it doesn't negate the fact that he still did them. And his main audience is literally children. So I don't think it excuses his actions whatsoever, which is why I got really upset with Shane with something he does later on, like after the series is over, which we will get to. But at the end of the episode, he also goes ahead and speaks to Erica, speaking about how Jake got really hurt by the Logan and Alyssa thing. I even felt bad. And once again, you have to take what they're saying with a grain of salt because they're saying what they want you to hear. There's two sides to every story, which is why I think it was very good that Shane went ahead and actually spoke to Alyssa. So that leads us into episode 7, the ex-girlfriend of Jake Paul, which is kind of funny considering apparently they never even dated. So this was probably one of my favorite episodes, not just because I like Alyssa Violet, but because I felt like this is where we actually got some real fucking tea. Before, the tea was stale and gross and I really didn't care for it, but in this one, the tea was so piping hot I fucking burnt my tongue on it. So in this episode, Shane goes ahead and goes to, I believe it is called the Clout House or whatever, which is where Alyssa lives. So he goes there and speaks to Alyssa. She's very nervous. It's clearly obvious how nervous she is. For some reason, her actions felt more real to me than Jake's did. Maybe I am just saying that because of the way Jake behaves, but honestly, like I did genuinely feel bad for her and I could tell how scared she was to speak about this and her reactions and emotions looked a lot more real to me. So Shane sits with her and speaks to her throughout this episode and we really get to learn a lot about the whole Alyssa and Jake situation, which is why I enjoyed this episode because I feel like we got some facts. You know, I feel like Jake often dances around the topic which Shane is speaking to him about, whereas Alyssa actually told Shane some truths, even some things that she did wrong. So she goes ahead and speaks about how the relationship wasn't actually real, even though she really wanted it to be. She speaks about how they met and how Jake offered her all of these things and promised her all of these things and wouldn't let her have guys over to the house or wouldn't let her speak to guys. However, he would be constantly bringing girls over to the house and constantly speaking to girls, which is completely and utterly unfair, especially considering you weren't dating. And the fact that he led her on but still slept with other girls is disgusting. Not as disgusting as what Alyssa revealed about the casting couch. She didn't say it was, but it's basically what it is.
Go to my friend's house for like an hour, 2 hours, I'd come back and then all of a sudden knock on his door, like, hey, like, and then open up and there'd be a girl in there and they'd literally be right after we hooked up. And that happened not once, not twice, not 3 times, like so many times I've lost count. It was Instagram models that he'd come over and be like, hey, like, we're scouting right now for Team 10, how about you come over, we'll see if you're a fit. They come over, you them, they leave, and like they're never a part of Team 10. It was like he used Team 10 to kind of like have girls over.
That is a complete and utter abuse of power and it's absolutely disgusting. When I heard that, I was livid. Any emotions I'd felt for Jake before that, completely out the fucking window. Which is why it aggravated me so much when Shane addressed it in part 8. So Alyssa also mentions all of the other things involved, like how she wanted to go on a trip with Jake, but Jake wouldn't let her go because he wanted to sleep with some girl there, you freaking pig. Sorry guys, I'm getting really too heated about this, I need to stop. But then she says how she was really upset and she was being treated horribly and she didn't want to just spend the night alone. So she went out with Logan and a bunch of his friends and her friends, and then one thing led to another and her and Logan ended up sleeping together. She says she really regretted it and even said it to him the next morning, but Logan was more kind of going along the lines of like, oh, whatever, like I'm a savage, I'm a maverick, he treats you like shit too, whatever. Which then Jake went ahead and found out because Logan told him, and Jake went ahead and kicked Alyssa out of Team 10, which is understandable. And later in the series, Jake mentions how he gave her 30 days to leave and she didn't. I do understand why he asked her to leave, but even then all the money that she's making is through Team 10, because if you join Team 10, Jake Paul takes 10% of everything that you earn.
It's actually 20%.
Which, you know, I kind of understand, but also like there are some things that she should have the money for, and she speaks about how when she left, there was a lot of the money that she didn't get back, which once again, we don't really have receipts for that, so we just have to take her word for granted. How do you expect her to move out when you won't even give her her money? So honestly, I just think that is a whole nother story. However, I do think it was really stupid of Alyssa to go ahead and make that diss track with Logan. Yes, she regretted it and told Logan that she didn't want to be in it anymore, but Logan was like, you know, whatever, you already consented, I'm still doing it, blah, blah, blah proves that Logan's a freaking dick. And Alyssa did feel really bad about it. But at the end of the day, it's not like Jake didn't do 10 times worse to her. Honestly, when we heard all of the things from her, like how she would be downstairs in the house and he'd be sleeping with girls upstairs and she could literally hear it, it honestly just broke my fucking heart. And how when all of that was happening and she was like hanging out with Logan and then Greg Paul was there and he was like, if you were a boy, I'd beat you up. Like, honestly, just mortifying. It's no wonder that Jake and Logan act like that when they have a father like that. Honestly, freaking despicable. So yeah, that episode honestly got me really emotional. I felt really bad for Alyssa and everything that was going on. Obviously, I do try and take everything everyone says for a grain of salt on the internet because you never know when people are being real, but it did feel very genuine to me and I don't really think she has a reason to lie. After that, I went ahead and watched her truth video and everything she said, it was backed up. It all lined up one with another. And this leads us into the final episode of the series titled Inside the Mind of Jake Paul. Now, this episode disappointed me. Not only was it an hour and 45 minutes long, which it definitely did not need to be. Like 90% of the video was Shane sitting on a couch with Logan Paul.
LOL, I meant to say Jake Paul.
He's like very like vibes like.
So in the beginning of the episode, it started off pretty good. You know, Jake and Alyssa came to their house. Shane was speaking about how he was nervous. They had a shot, which I thought was a little bit strange to put in a video. I'm glad that nobody was there when Shane was talking to Jake because I feel like that would have persuaded him even more, besides the fact that there's a camera there and he's speaking to Shane and he knows it's going to be viewed by millions of people. I'm still glad that like Erica didn't stay or anything like that. And I also appreciate that when Shane was having all of the deep conversations with Jake that he decided to remove the emotional music because obviously all of the backlash that happened earlier on would have caused him to do this. Make sure you check out part 1 down below. But yeah, that's pretty much all I liked about the episode. Honestly, like it didn't even have a really good ending like how Shane has with the rest of his series where he comes to like some sort of emotional conclusion and speaks about it. He kind of just finishes his conversation with Jake and then it just cuts, shows some like emotional clips and then just ends, which really bothered me because it kind of shows to me that like Shane didn't really have any concluding thoughts. Like I'm not trying to jump to conclusions, but at the end of all the other series he did. So it kind of bothered me that he didn't really kind of wrap the series up and speak about his thoughts. And what bothered me even more was he came out with some tweets, like just a lot of emotional tweets towards Jake saying that he considers him family. Shane, are you okay? Like how do you consider him family after everything that he has done? And let's get into that. So in that episode, Inside the Mind of Jake Paul, Shane goes ahead and brings up all of the other things that I recently spoke about. He brings up the situation with Alyssa. And Jake says, you know, I did like her. I was really hurt. Yes, we weren't actually dating and I, you know, used her for clickbait and would call her my girlfriend for the views and stuff like that. But she knew that. And he would speak about, yeah, you know, I slept with other girls, but it's not like she didn't sleep with other guys. Like he just goes and speaks about his side of it, just saying how he was really, really hurt by the situation and the fact that it involved his brother, which by the way, your brother shouldn't have slept with her in the first place. I'm not condoning the fact that she did, but I understand why she did it. But at the end of the day, if you want to go ahead and weigh up what Logan did as opposed to what Alyssa did, it kind of, yeah, just kind of like, you know what I mean? And I feel like anytime Shane spoke about something with Jake, he would just kind of dance around it or bounce around it, which was extremely evident when Shane addressed the kids. Now, we all know that Jake Paul's main demographic is children. He's even said that his main demographic is like 6 to 12. I honestly get so angry with the way that he emotionally manipulates his audience. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and show you a couple clips to show you what I mean.
Something that's been on my mind for a while, so please get your parent right now and watch this message.
Please buy your kid my merch. That is all.
During this time, Jake Paul changed his channel name to Jake Paul Will Die. In scenes that are intended to distress the viewer, home invaders swing metal baseball bats all around Jake's dog, debate stabbing the dog with a butcher knife, hold the dog hostage, and then in scenes that really upset young fans, bind, kidnap, and terrorize Jake and Erica. And for evidence that Jake Paul's fans cannot distinguish between reality and fiction, countless videos were uploaded to YouTube by concerned children. Some of these kids sobbing, asking for police to intervene, asking for someone to pay the ransom, begging the kidnappers to let Jake and Erica go.
So as you can see, he really doesn't seem like he cares about his fans at all. It seems like all he cares about is merch, is selling merch, is making money, is getting views, is having clout. And he says how early in the beginning episode, he's like, oh, I don't normally drink on camera. He's trying to seem like he keeps his brand so family friendly, but you are literally blowing shit up, having really sexual content in your videos. You are such a terrible influence. What parent lets their child watch you blows my mind. And Shane told him this. He was like, like, you know, it seems to us that you don't care about these kids. You're emotionally manipulating these kids. You just want to make money off of these kids. He doesn't realize the influence that he has on children. It just blows my mind when he did that whole like clown kidnap Team 10 situation. The amount of children that were probably traumatized. Like, children do not have the mental capacity to understand what is fake and what is real and what is right and what is wrong. And he doesn't realize this. Like, his influence over them is so strong and it's so bad. Like, what he does in his videos is insane.
But I also... It's not even about that. It just bothers me that like people would even try to make that connection. Like, I'm trying to manipulate an 8-year-old kid to buy my shit. So like, for people trying to say like I'm just doing it to manipulate and trying to make money off of kids, like, shut the fuck up. That's how I feel about it, which like, that's just me being honest.
Yeah, no. Psychologically, what it looks like to me, and when I watched that video, I agreed with what he was saying.
Younger viewers are unlikely to understand the difference between advertising and entertainment.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's, again, just like people finding a reason to be like, fuck Jake Paul.
No, anybody who says that is a logical freaking human being and they're using their brain, unlike you, Mr. Jake Paul. Oh my god, I'm getting so heated, guys, but I honestly was just so frustrated. I felt like Shane did bring up all of the controversial things. Like, he brought up the Alyssa situation, he had brought up the emotionally manipulating kids, he brought up all of these controversial things, but Jake just goes ahead and kind of brushes it off or tries to like dance around the topic and not answer the question. Shane just moves on. He tries a little bit, but he just moves on. And it's like, did we really sit through 8 hours of content for this? The first 7 episodes of the series, in my opinion, were really good. I thought that the last episode was going to be a banger. Like, Shane was implementing so many tiny things that I thought he was going to weave together to come up with an amazing conclusion, and then we just get this. Like, an hour and 45 minutes of you sitting on a couch with Jake Paul, trying to get into his head, but him pushing you out. Inside of the mind of Jake Paul, you barely cracked the surface. Honestly, it just really, really upset me because I know that Shane's so much better than this, and I know that he is so skilled, and the amount of work and effort that him and Andrew put into the first 7 episodes to just all be wasted on this. I don't know if I'm being too harsh, but you know what? That's just my opinion. And the fact that Shane didn't get a conclusion to those things, and the fact that he just believes everything that Jake says, even though he knows about all these other things, yet he still goes ahead and says stuff on Twitter like, you know, you're family to me, right? It just honestly really, really disappoints me. And it's exactly what I was worried about when Shane announced that he was doing this series. And I don't feel bad for Jake Paul. Yeah, he's got some family drama, and yes, he's got all these problems, and he has his older brother, and if anything, the series showed us that the real sociopath is probably Logan Paul. But at the end of the day, it does not negate everything that you've done. Let's see if Jake Paul actually changes. Let's see if he takes his influence over children responsibly. Let's see if he stops plugging his merch as much, stops doing really traumatic things on his YouTube channel, stops being an absolute prick. Let's see if he does it. Do I think he will? You know, maybe. But at the end of the day, we're looking at the series, and I think that Shane was too easy on Jake Paul. And that's all I gotta say about that episode, guys. Overall, I enjoyed the beginning of the series. I thought that a lot of the last episode could have been cut out. I honestly kept spacing out because I felt like they kept repeating themselves. Please don't take this as hate. This is just my opinion. I really did enjoy the series, except for the last episode. But yeah, I just really thought that I wanted to go ahead and get my opinion out here. I'd really love to know what you guys thought of the entire series. Please go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite part is. I really enjoyed the episode with Alyssa. I thought that was a really interesting episode and had the most tea, and you know I'm all about the tea. But yeah, that's it for me in this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Comment your thoughts down below. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, because I make 2 new videos every single week, and make sure you have the post notifications bell on so that you never miss another upload. All my social media is linked down below if you guys want to go ahead and follow me. But yeah, that's it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next one, and I hope that you have a great day or night wherever you're in the world. Bye! And if you want to go ahead and hate, go ahead and do so. I'm just glad that you actually listened to what I had to say.